What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. You guys seen the title, and you clicked on the video. Before I get started, I want to say rest in peace to Shawty Lo. If you guys know rap music, hip-hop, he's an Atlanta-based bankhead artist who passed away. He was involved in a car accident this morning, and he did not make it. So rest in peace. T.I. happens to be from the same neck of the woods, Atlanta, as Shawty Lo. So before I start, I want to pay my respects. Now, I'm going to let you hear what Don King said at the Donald Trump rally, Don and Don, right? And then I'm going to give some thoughts. I'm on T.I.'s verified page, Troubleman 31, actor, rapper T.I. And let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys follow Tip. And I'm going to play this for you.
I told Michael Jackson, I said, if you're poor, you are a poor Negro. I would use the N-word. But if you're rich, you are a rich Negro. If you are intellectual, you're an intellectual Negro. If you are dancing and sliding and gliding, Negro, you are dancing and sliding and gliding, Negro. So dare not alienate because you cannot assimilate. So, you know, you're going to be a Negro till you die.
So you heard the ignorance from boxing promoter Don King. And this is what T.I. had to say. And when you're a spineless, soul-selling coon, you're a spineless, soul-selling coon Negro. You old Stephen off Django, Uncle Ruckus in real life, hate the skin you in, poor excuse for a black man, Willie Lynch endorsing, ass coon. Just look at how those rich, privileged white men laughing in satisfaction at you because you're so lost in your own selfishness that you'd, even at the fragile state that this nation is in, sell your own people out. You're a fucking disgrace to all generations of black people, young and old. Your family, friends, ancestors should be ashamed to claim your stupid ass. Now I see why Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, hashtag Muhammad Ali, and all your fighters ran your ass out of boxing. We as a people deserve better. Hashtag Don Coon. So T.I. ripped him. Let him have it. Absolutely. And I got to talk about this. This is long overdue. You guys got to hear Ego speak. And I agree what he's talking about with Don King. Clearly coon behavior. And this is what throws people. A lot of people don't know what a coon is. They're, oh, if you like someone black, you're a coon. No, it's deeper than that. A coon is, if you guys ever seen the Wayans brother parody, Don't Be a Menace, and Bernie Mac had that police officer character, and he's like, I hate your black skin. I hate your black pants. I hate black pepper. I hate my gums because they black. You're not comfortable in your own skin. You go out of your way to pretty much oppress and belittle, berate your own race, right? Uncle Tom, Coon. That's what it is. Now, let actual racists tell it. What a coon is to them is, oh, we get this in boxing all the time. People say, oh, this person's a coon or this person's racist. A lot of times what you get is actual racists who will throw different labels like racist in fear because they want to keep you oppressed. They want you to say what they want you to say, and if you don't, then they'll label you racist, and they feel like, oh, that's gonna scare you. Like, if I give props to Floyd Mayweather for being a skillful fighter, I'm not talking about how good he can barbecue, I'm not talking about his mansion, I'm talking about his skill set in the ring, and that intimidates people because they don't want to see Floyd on top. As a result, they'll say, you're racist, you only like black fighters. But if you look at it, name one major division that's popular and bountiful and has tons of names in it where you don't see any dominant black fighters. You know what I'm saying? Barring maybe some of the smaller divisions, and there's not really that many big names. So I'm talking about the main stake divisions. You know what I mean? Like, look at divisions like 126, 130, 140, 147, 154, heavyweight. In every single one of those divisions, heavyweight, you have guys like Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua. They're looking like beasts. And it's not just black people. You got Luis King Kong Ortiz, who's considered, most people would consider him probably black Cuban, right? Afro-Cuban. And then you got guys like Tyson Fury, Klitschko, kind of towards the end of his rope. You look at the welterweight picture. Who would people say are the best fighters there? Pacquiao. Then you have Mayweather, Errol Spence Jr., Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, right? And what they try to do is psych you out That's what a coon does. That's what racist people do. They try to psych you out and make you in fear to speak the truth, the honest to God truth. There are a lot of talented fighters from across the world. I take that into consideration, but there are also a lot of dominant black fighters. But notice, this is what coons do. Notice, if you praise a fighter who is on that list, right, that oppression list, then they'll act like it's a bad thing. Like, what's wrong with, if you like Floyd Mayweather, what's wrong with that, right? Like, really break it down. You don't like him as a person, but what's wrong with saying he's a good fighter? But they'll try to make you feel a type of way, try to make you uncertain, if you will. But if I've done several videos, and when I tell people Maidana's one of my favorite fighters, it's never no issue. Nobody has a problem with me saying that. I'm like, damn, Maidana cashed out. Get your money, Maidana. You one of my favorites, etc. Nobody ever has a problem with that. But then if I say Mayweather is a hell of a fighter, then it's all of a sudden, oh, you're sucking Floyd's dick. You're a dick rider. You're a Flomo. You're this, that. If I say Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence are good, great fighters, and I'm really checking for them, that's when you get. And there's a lot of this going on, not just in politics, but also in the world, and even in the boxing world. You see that all the time. There's YouTube channels and commenters and stuff. And the worst part about it is when you coon, you know what I mean, when you want to shuck a jive, like it's comparable to, let's say, a yes man. Let's say you're part of Brad Pitt's entourage, and he's telling jokes that aren't even funny, but since he pays the bills and you're on his payroll, then you have to treat him different than you would treat anybody else. That's almost similar to what a coon is like. You have like a yes man. That's kind of what it is. You're constantly looking for approval. If Brad Pitt tells you a joke that's not even funny, you, Brad, you're hilarious. You have to do those types of things because you don't want to fall out of Graceland or fall out of his good graces and things like that. So you're always trying to please. That's what coons do. They're trying to please the machine, the white man, or other races, whatever. You know what I mean? There's no limit to coonery. You know what I mean? You could be trying to please Latinos, white people, or whatever the situation is, but you're going above and beyond to condemn black people, trying to get the approval and appraisal of other people, right? Like Don King. This is a great example. You look at him just from the picture alone. Don King's at a podium. You have Donald Trump, and it looks like one black guy behind him who's just filming it, laughing like, damn, this dude's tripping. And then you have two other, looks like blue collar, probably wealthy men, just by their apparel, how they're dressed and stuff like that. And watch throughout this thing, they're laughing. And that's the thing with the coon. They're not laughing with you, they're laughing at you. And that's the problem with a lot of the African American race. I can't say everyone, I can't stereotype like that, but there is less unity. There's not many allies. For example, in boxing, if you're from Argentina, you can like every single fighter from Argentina. And if you, let's say you're Argentine with a YouTube channel, and you said, man, my favorites are Lucas Matisse, Marcos Maidana, and Diego Chavez, and David Peralta. I mean, I love watching them. Those guys are great, right? Sergio Montevilla, before he retired, Martinez those guys are great. I guarantee you might see a couple comments here and there, but you're not going to see such dissonance for liking those fighters, because people see you with the Argentina flag behind you and they're like, okay, that's cool, right? If you're Mexican and you're like, man, I want Chavez Jr. to get his life together. Canelo is the biggest star in boxing. He's a great combination puncher. Oscar Valdez, he's amazing. You're not going to get ridiculed. And if you do get ridiculed, you're probably not getting ridiculed from other Mexican people. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a Mexican or Mexican American and you're talking about Canelo and Mikey Garcia and Oscar Valdez, and you like them, and you're probably not going to have many detractors from your race who are telling you you're an idiot, Oscar Valdez sucks, and Canelo, he ducked Golovkin, you're a bitch, things like that. But a lot of times in the black race, when you have coonery, that's what a coon will do. They'll tell you that Floyd Mayweather is not skilled, he's a bitch, because they're trying to gain acceptance, right? They'll tell you Terrence Crawford ran versus Victor Postal. See, that's what the thing is with with a coon. A coon is not telling the truth. If a fighter stinks up the joint and they have a terrible performance, that's okay. Black, white, Mexican, yellow, Puerto Rican, green, purple, whatever you are, it's okay to tell that truth. I have no problem with that. But when you go out of your way to limit and condemn only one race and you happen to be a part of that race, right? Then that's where it's a problem, because you're praising everybody else, but your own race, you're finding everything to nitpick, everything to condemn, everything to discourage that particular group, right? You want to oppress, hold only that race accountable for something. That's what you see. There are YouTube channels and people, they're doing it like there's known racists. Like I'm talking about, I've blocked people because I've seen them using the N-word and they're not black and they're using it with the ER at the end, right? They're calling people monkeys and stuff. I've seen them block. And then you go to those known coon channels and in the comment section, it's the same people. And they're like, great job. You're doing a good video. This is awesome. See, this is why I subscribe. They do that because it's all psychological. They don't give a fuck. If you're telling them what they want to hear, they're going to do their best to encourage you. They want you to keep doing videos because now they can look like, haha, I told you Floyd was a bitch. Even this black person is saying it. He's on our side. You have nowhere to run. That's how they're looking at it. It's a race war. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly how they look at it. They're looking at like, I have an ally. And as soon as you turn, like, let's say something comes out, Mayweather and Pacquiao happen. And you're like, damn, Floyd really won. Pacquiao looked like shit in that fight. They will turn on you, period. They're going to turn on you because they were snakes from the beginning. They were racist from the beginning. They never really liked you. They never really fucked with you. The reason they did that is that encouraging and, oh, great, this is my favorite channel, is because you were saying what they want. Me, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to say what I want and how I feel. And that's really what it is. And no one's going to change that or stop that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to cookie cut it and say this and that. And if Floyd Mayweather is a damn good fighter, I'm going to tell you that. You know what I mean? If I'm checking for Caleb Plant, I'm going to tell you that. I don't care what your race is, me personally. But I'm not going to stop promoting certain fighters because it scares people, right? Oh, don't talk. All you like is, I have people say stupid shit like that. You only like black fighters. It's all about black. No, but if there's a lot of black fighters that are good, then what do you want me to not talk about them? To talk about Chavez Jr. or somebody else who doesn't catch my eye the same way because they're not as disciplined or they don't show or exercise the same level of work ethic or technique? I'm not going to do that. Now, there are different fighters of all creeds that are non-black that I give nothing but the utmost respect to, and I'm really checking for it. I'm really checking for new people. Caleb Plant, Oscar Valdez. I've always been a huge fan of Maidana, Mikey Garcia, right? I like people like Ruslan. He doesn't really have technique, but he's cool to watch. He's fun to watch. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. But back to Tip and this Don King thing. It's embarrassing almost that he probably got paid out, you know what I mean, cashed out in the low to do that. But those are the people you got to watch for, because if an amount of money is going to get you to endorse or kind of say coonish things, then there's no telling what you'll do. You know what I mean? I would be more fearful of the person who can be bought than the person who can't be bought. You know what I mean? Like, you guys, because people say whatever they want about me, but I'm me through and throughout, and I'm very consistent, right? I'm not going to just do something that I don't believe in because you guys feel you could pressure me into doing something and okay, fuck it, Terrence Crawford, he sucks. Because you guys get mad when I want to talk about it, because I want to talk about how Pacquiao openly ducked Terrence Crawford. You know what I mean? You can't scare me off like that. That actually makes me want to talk about it more because it's the fact and it's the truth, and I know it's hurting. You know what I'm saying? Truth hurts, and it is what it is. But yeah, it's embarrassing for Don King. I don't even understand why Bermane Stiverne or any fighter would want to sign with him at this point. His stables suck. His stable is ass. He has no real fighters except for Bermane Stiverne, I think is the only good fighter that I could think of off the top of my head. Everybody in the past, Holyfield, I think Lennox Lewis, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., Ricardo Mayorga, all these guys had problems with him and weren't getting their proper paycheck. And then you see other fighters who are like famous fighters, and it's like they hate Floyd Mayweather, and they're on some coon shit. And I think that's part of it, because in their day, they were taking on great fights, and it wasn't about nothing about business decision. They were just, Don King, that's one thing I'll give Don King. He was kind of like the UFC. In his prime, he would make good fights. You know what I mean? No one could really, it wasn't like, oh, let's wait and let this Canelo and Triple G marinate. He would make good fights when they were relevant a lot of times. And that's why I think some of the past fighters, black fighters, kind of turn coonish and start resenting, because you look at Floyd Mayweather and he has all this money and he's on the Forbes list, and you go follow his Instagram, he's in the Bermuda Triangle and then Dubai and all these places and shit, and you were getting ripped off by Don King and promoters from back in the day and stuff like that, not getting cashed out, not making 150 for an easy fight, you know what I'm saying? 300 mil, guaranteed 32 million to fight a Robert Guerrero level opposition, you know what I mean? You'd be lucky to get that if you were fighting like Tyson fighting Holyfield or something, you know what I'm saying? Guaranteed 32 million. And I think that's what causes some of the coonery is jealousy and resentment, you know what I mean? People had to deal with it the hard way and stuff like that. But yeah, what Don King did with the Trump thing is just laughable. Like you're saying, if you're dancing, then you're a dancing Negro. If you're a singer, you're a singing Negro. I mean, I don't really see how that uplifts your people to refer to them as Negroes. And again, you look at the body language. The people behind them are laughing. They're just like, this guy is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And the last thing I wanted to really say is, this is why in the black community you have a lot of like black on black crime and just separation in general, because there's not as much unity. Like, you know what I mean? I give it to other races because there's a lot of unity. Like if you go to like an Asian market, then they support their own and they have no problem doing that. And I'm not saying all employees are Asian, but a lot of times if you go to the deli, there'll probably be Asian people, or go to a nail shop, you know what I'm saying? And people get mad. This generation is real touchy. If you talk about race, you're racist. Like, what are you talking about? But anyway, you go to the average nail shop. You guys don't necessarily live where I live in California, but I've been around the world, seen some different places. You go to the average nail shop, and I guarantee you will see multiple people of that same ethnicity or race working there, right? The average nail shop, right? Period. You go to, let's say a taqueria or a Mexican meat market. You'll probably see Hispanic, Mexican American people working there. Not always, you know what I mean? Sometimes there might be a white person or black person or whatever scattered around, but I'm saying you'll see other people being helped out in their community. But in the African American community, you don't always see that. You don't always see that unity. You know what I'm saying? You have people that want to dish you or this and that. There's not that much unity. You know what I mean? People want to take shots at you more than uplift you. So I mean, I can't condone what Don King is doing. Like, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous to me, and it is crazy that we have that. But that's why other races sometimes can get ahead. Like I have some Filipino friends, and I used to work on base we have an Air Force base out here. I used to work on them, and I know their family really well. They held each other down, right? We were all working at this grocery store, so you get tips. And what they would do is they actually had family members in the Philippines. What they would do is they had a separate savings account to help their family back in the Philippines. They would also send and export, like there'd be good deals on like big ass bags of rice, like let's say 40-50 pound bags, and they would ship it off to the Philippines, like goods like that. And I don't know if you know anything about the postal service and shipping, but 40 pounds is based on weight. So if you're shipping stuff like 40 pound bags, then that has to be pretty expensive. But they would do that. And they were like Jordans, because on base you don't pay tax. So sometimes there'd be good deals, and Jordans you don't pay tax. They would ship it to family members that they had that were still left in the Philippines, right? And in the black community, a lot of times you have people like Don King who are doing the exact opposite. He's not unifying people. And again, I know some people aren't going to understand this video because you probably choose not to understand it, but there's different levels of a coon. Like, for example, the recent Terrence Crutcher shooting with the police. A black man, unarmed, window was rolled up, got shot. And it was because the white female officer felt threatened for whatever reason, right? So another senseless police/civilian killing of an unarmed black person, right? And what a coon will do is just like you see on Fox. They get some of the best coons, like people who probably been cooning from 1988 all the way to current, like, you know what I mean, award-winning coons, and they'll get someone like who is on some precinct, some police officer somewhere that's black, so he fits the profile of what they want you to see, and then he'll be finding all the reasons in the world to tell you why he deserved to get shot and killed. You know what I mean? Oh, but he raised his eyebrow like The Rock, so the officers felt threatened and had no choice but to blast him. I've been in the field for 10 years, and when someone flicks their eyebrow, usually it's because they're on PCP when they arch their eyebrow like that, so he deserved to get clapped. You know what I'm saying? That's what a coon will do. A coon will tell you all these things to try to pacify, and the worst part about it is they're not willing to do the opposite. So, for example, Terrence Crutcher, police brutality type of shootings, they'll tell you all the reason in the world the innocent black unarmed person got killed and deserved it. But then let's say they're a boxing fan and Alexander Povetkin test positive. That's not anyone jumping to conclusions. That's not anything. That, you know what I mean? That's not like someone lying on his name. He had positive tests and he had negative tests. Then he had positive tests, right? Or whatever. But he failed a drug test. And then they want to all of a sudden be optimistic. Like, hey, give him the benefit of the doubt. Stop blaming him. Or if someone says, oh, Sergei Kovalev's a racist. Hey, give him a break, man. Kovalev's not racist. He didn't know what it's a language barrier. He did the monkey shirt. Just accept it. It's not him. He's not like that. His trainer's black. Even though his trainer said coonish things too, to be honest. But anyway, and that's another coon trick, is what they do is they'll try to point out the most cooning person and say, hey, this person said it, so I know what I'm talking about has to be fact. You know what I mean? It doesn't work like that. If Bernard Hopkins is on HBO and he's saying foolish coon shit, and then you're going to try to reference him. Oh, but Bernard B-Hop said it. He's a legend, right? It doesn't work like that. We know when it's happening and who's doing what. So that's the bottom line, what it is, man. Don King's a fucking fool. Let me know what you guys think of Coon, but I had to speak on the subject matter. Like little stuff like this. People are mad that Colin Kaepernick kneeled during the national anthem, and then a few weeks later, after all these people were pissed off at him, right? A few weeks later, then what? Someone else, an innocent person, Terrence Crutcher, gets killed. So what he was saying about police brutality and they need better training and stuff doesn't look that far off. It doesn't look that far-fetched. You know what I'm saying? So why all the animosity towards him? But when the little white kid with the bowl cut shot up the school or the church with like 9 people, and then the officers gave him like a body shield as they escorted him out the house and protected him so he didn't no innocent gunman or random civilian gunman run up and clap him or anything, and they went and dropped him off, or not dropped him off, but took him to get a burger. You weren't talking about that, but you're so outraged by Colin Kaepernick. Get the fuck out of here. Let me know what you guys think of the coonery going on in boxing and in the world. Drop it in the comment section. Again, rest in peace, Shawty Low. And also, rest in peace to Terrence Crutcher, who is murdered. More murder, come again, by this lady. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you like my video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.